Question. If I were to ask you what the perfect life looked like, what would you say? Would you say a world of peace? A world of equality? Perhaps. But maybe you'd just say Stardew Valley. And honestly, I can't blame you. Leaving behind the oppressive city life that is run by the countless corporations pulling the strings behind every door, and heading off into the middle of nowhere, a quiet town where you can live on your own terms in a charming and friendly community of all sorts of people. I think it's fair to say that Stardew Valley is an ideal world. Well, maybe not the whole literal world, because there are still wars and drunk bus drivers and corporations, but your world, that little pocket of life that you get to live, it's ideal. But while all that sounds pretty close to perfect, there's one big gap between everything you could ever need and basic human rights. And that's the bathrooms, or specifically, the lack thereof. There are so many villages in Pelican Town, each with their own homes and many that have businesses. So there has to be some sort of restroom available for all of these people, right? I've played Stardew Valley for over 10 years at this point, and for some reason I'm only just now thinking about this. And I'm not the first person. There are a couple of forums where people have asked the same question, and there are even some mods that add bathrooms into the game. But I wanted to dive back in and take a look through Pelican Town myself, and what I ended up finding was actually pretty disturbing. So first off, I wanted to take a look to see if any bathroom furniture actually existed in the game through the in-game furniture catalog, and then I'd head out into Pelican Town to take a look myself on some sort of town-wide inspection day. It's mandatory, I've decided. There's no privacy today. Leave your doors unlocked, please and thank you. After opening up the furniture catalog and skimming through it, my initial suspicions were correct. Absolutely zero bathroom utilities. No toilets, no baths or showers, not even a sink. It's not a good sign for Pelican Town. I'll let the inspection day begin. With that covered, I set off on a gloomy and rainy day in the valley to begin my thorough survey through each building in the town. First off, my own home, which, even with all of the upgrades, is lacking a bathroom. Surely Robin, an experienced builder, would have thought to include a bathroom at some point. With all the time she spent working on this house and countless others across the valley, did she just forget? I don't know. I continued into the town and began checking the buildings one by one. First, the completed community center, a place where all of the residents of Pelican Town are welcome to come and gather and use the various facilities. A kitchen, some storage, a play area, a boiler room, an office, but no bathroom. I then checked Harvey's medical practice and Pierre's general store along with their attached homes. The medical practice features a reception area along with a couple of treatment rooms, but no bathrooms, nor were there any to be seen in Harvey's living quarters. Pierre's general store was a similar story. There is no public restroom available within the store itself, and no private bathroom throughout the remainder of his residence. You have a whole damn chapel in here, Pierre, but no bathroom? Really? I thought cleanliness was supposed to be close to godliness. It's nowhere to be seen. Next, I checked through the houses in the same area in central Pelican Town. Nothing in Haley and Emily's house, and no sign in Jody and Kent's house. And still no bathroom in Evelyn and George's home either. Pam's trailer was missing a bathroom as well, but there is this bucket. No. And Mayor Lewis was also lacking a befitting throne in his house. There's no bathroom in Clint's place as well, but to be honest, that's the last place I expected to find a shower in the whole game. The museum didn't have any facilities for the public either, and JojaMart was similarly lacking. Supermarkets usually do have restrooms available, but this is JojaMart, I guess. Corporations, am I right? Stardrop Saloon was next, and like everything else, it also lacked a bathroom. This is the most surprising, I think, because this is where everyone in the town gathers to drink every week. You can't tell me that everybody gathers here for hours at a time, drinks in hand all night, and nobody has to go. I'm not buying it. Next, I ran down to the beach to check around there. Still nothing to see in Elliot's shack or the fisherman's hut, but there's no real surprise at this point. But nothing around the beach either. You sometimes see public facilities around a beach like this, especially one that is so often used to host events, and events that usually bring in tourists, but there's nothing to be seen. I checked the Wizard's Tower and there is nothing there, and I didn't really expect to find anything around Hatmouse. No offense, Hatmouse, it's just... toilets don't really seem to be your style. No bathroom in Leah's house, and the same in Marnie's ranch. There was this locked door in Marnie's kitchen, which looks like it could lead to a bathroom, but it turns out it's just a chicken coop as part of Shane's heart events. So apparently someone found that out, because there's at least one Shane romancer out there. Heading up to Robin's house, the one person in the entire town that could potentially actually install toilets, and yet no restrooms to be found. Linus lives up here in his tent as well, but of course there's no plumbing going to the tent, so, you know, he gets a pass. The Adventurers Guild must be pretty adventurous when you have to go, because still no restroom. Finally, I checked the spa, which was the first place that came to my mind when I first started thinking about this topic at all. It's a leisure centre with facilities for the townspeople, including a pool, a gym, a changing area, and even showers. And lo and behold, cubicles. Could it be toilets in Stardew Valley? In my video game? But here's the thing, I'm not convinced. On one hand, these could just be cubicles for changing. There's the locker area down here, of course, but I've seen plenty of changing rooms that have both the locker area and private changing cubicles as well. On the other hand, if these are in fact toilet cubicles, this is almost more bizarre. If there were no toilets in Stardew Valley, we could conclude that they're just not really needed and serve no functional purpose for the game. Sure, that makes sense. But these few cubicles here might very well be the only toilets in the entire of Pelican Town, and maybe the entire of Stardew Valley. You know what that means? The person in Stardew Valley with the easiest access to bathroom facilities is Linus. And I'd have it no other way. Honestly, he's not living outside the boundaries of the town, he is living 2 steps ahead of it. But how can a whole town with modern homes and running water and large businesses and regular events and numerous villagers all get by with the only accessible toilets being in a secluded leisure center? It just doesn't make sense, but I kind of find that fascinating. However, that is not where the questions end. Okay, so we've established that Stardew Valley has a real lack of toilets and bathrooms throughout the entire town. There's running water, and there's a few cubicles of what appears to be toilets available in the bathhouse up in the mountains, but that's it. With that information, we could just forget about it and move on and say we found the toilets in Stardew Valley, hooray. But then I have to ask, what is this for? This is the sewer system that runs underneath Pelican Town, home to the bestest boy, Krobus. It's decorated, and I use that term very loosely, with almost bioluminescent green liquid. But what is it? I wouldn't blame you for thinking, well, it's sewage, obviously. But it can't be, surely, because there are no bathrooms outside of the spa itself. There's no way one single facility up in the mountains is producing this much sewage on a regular basis. So first, let's see where it flows to and from. Downstream, it flows directly out of the South Tunnel and straight into the sea. But if wait, what? There's no sewage treatment facility, no purification steps. It just flows straight into the ocean. Okay, this cannot be sewage, and if it is, something is seriously wrong here. In most places, there are very strict regulations about untreated sewage just being dumped straight into the sea. It still happens, of course, and mostly as a failsafe to avoid rainwater overflow and prevent the sewage from backing up into residential properties. But there are no bathroom facilities in the residential properties in Stardew Valley, so this is by design. An act like this is usually disputed by the populace, especially in coastal towns such as Pelican Town in Stardew Valley. The town has a focus on the beach and the fishing and the quality of the immediate land. So sewage being consistently dumped into the ocean right here, that would surely make the land inhabitable in such a short amount of time, or at least decrease the quality of living significantly. And yet it's something that people just seem to live with here. These kids are also found playing around the sewer exit early on in the game. Is that alright? It doesn't feel alright. Now there is actually a way to clean up this area in the game. You can encounter Trash Bear, who you will have to give some specific items to, and once you do, they will float around and remove all of the trash in Pelican Town, including around this sewer exit. This includes the sewage excess, and they will plant trees and shrubbery around the exit as well. And that's good. I love you, Trash Bear. But it doesn't fix the problem. Where does this sewage come from, and is it really sewage? Let's follow it back. The flow comes from the north, which is in the direction of the spa, so you'd think that checks out. Go through here, however, and we end up in the mutant bug lair. Okay, now I'm really starting to doubt that this is sewage at all. This conspiracy is getting even deeper than I intended. Is this green liquid some sort of mutation catalyst rather than any natural form of sewage at all? Well, yes, because it's here in the sewers that you can catch the mutant carp and the radioactive carp. Now I'm really concerned. The item text for the mutated carp refers to the green liquid as strange waters, while the radioactive carp refers to it as toxic sludge. And that's not to mention the endless supply of trash that you can fish out of these very waters, as well as all of the water across the town. So how do we explain this? Well, I don't think these sewers are really sewers at all. They seemingly don't connect to the spa in any way, nor do they include a sewage treatment process. It only connects to this natural underground cavern system, which means it's more like a cistern for storing natural water. But how did the natural underground water become prone to mutation? Because there are no bathrooms in Stardew Valley. Imagine a whole town that did not have easy access to bathroom facilities and were forced to go outside in nature consistently for generations. Not unlike medieval infrastructure, but here we're even missing outhouses or pits in the ground. We're talking shrubs, rivers, any speck of wilderness that the townspeople can find. Now, if that is the case, these are some of the issues that you would run into throughout the years. Waterborne disease outbreaks, soil contamination, severe odor and air quality issues, vector and pest infestations, and algal blooms and aquatic dead zones. Pest infestations feels far too accurate, especially considering the number of creatures that lurk beneath the ground in the mines and cavern systems. Algal blooms make sense as to why the water has become so green and sludge-like, with waterborne diseases only making it more toxic and dangerous to any sort of life. And that's not even to mention the whole point of soil contamination. This is a farming game. So not only is there a complete lack of bathrooms in Stardew Valley, but it's also the reason we're seeing mutations in the water and the wildlife. All the crops that you grow and sell and plant and eat are all probably just as contaminated as well. This whole section of the ocean here is probably an aquatic dead zone at this point. Is the wizard's magic even real? Are the Junimo just hallucinations after drinking the water in this town? And the green rain? Yeah. I don't want to think about that. At this point, Stardew Valley doesn't need bathroom facilities installed at all. It needs to be evacuated, quarantined, and scientifically studied for at least a few decades. Maybe not the ideal life after all. Don't drink that.